1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Oregon Quilting and Happy New Year. We're starting a brand new season, a brand new year, and we had so much fun last year, but we've got new things planned, so be sure and watch. We'll have information on our website. And as always, we have an audience with us today. And later we also have Miss Amanda will be joining us. So we're going to start with Renee, and she has a special, very special project that she is going to show us from the fabrics from last year's challenge.
I just made a bunch of prairie points.
A bunch of prairie points. So all the challenge fabrics from last year are in here. So is this hard to do?
No, very easy.
Very easy. It doesn't look easy.
No.
So you start from the outside or the inside on the circles?
Well, you have your background fabric and you fold it 2 times so you get your corner points. And then you make your prairie points and you start out just matching them up. And as you spread out, you add more points.
So you start in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you sew the rough,
Yeah.
raw edges.
Yeah. So after I usually use that fabric glue and baste it down. And then after the main part is on, I sew around the raw edges and then the next level and keep going out.
Okay. Thank you. That is beautiful. Thank you, Renee. And Karen is with us, and she worked on the same pattern, but it looks different all year last year.
It does. So I, like Renee, took all of the fabrics, well, some of my favorite fabrics, and created the last block. It's going to be bright. But these were some of my favorites of, I don't know, how many fabrics did we have?
We must have
We
had
3 each month? Well, 2 each month
2
because
each
blue was
month.
continuing.
24 and
It's a lot of-
25.
That's a lot of different
25
fabrics.
different fabrics
So,
last year.
anyway, and then
Okay.
Elizabeth insisted that I show a couple of the others, so everybody kind of looked at them and wanted to see the favorites, so this one kind of won.
Yeah.
I'm partial to red, white, and blues anyway, so that was kind of fun. And then this was the other favorite, but then I love blue and yellow. so-
And I'm not a yellow person, but I love the blocks from last year that had the yellow in
Uh-huh,
them.
yeah, well,
They're
they
just-
were some of the pieces that I grabbed when you put them out. I'm like, yeah, I want those. They're some of
So.
my favorites, so.
It will be wonderful in
so,
February.
Yeah.
We hope to we will be having a quilt show, and hopefully the top will be done.
Oh,
even
I hope it'll be
even
done.
if it isn't
We'll see.
quilted.
It'll be stashed at the least.
Okay.
And then Krisha made a block out of her fabrics, kind of like a spinning star or something. I don't know. I don't know if it has a name, but anyway. So
Okay.
that was hers.
Thank you very
You
much.
bet.
Teresa is here again today. And it's been very cold. We've had very cold temperatures below what we usually have. Good quilting weather.
Okay, first of all, I'll start with the challenge fabrics and what I did with them this last month. And I'd go for something different every single time, just for the fun of it.
Oh, I like that. That is so much. And everybody's is so different. That's what I've enjoyed so much about them. What's fun, then when I watch it on television or on YouTube, and I get to see it, and I'm going, ooh, oh, look at that one.
Oh, that one's cool too.
That is.
How many of those did you design?
0. I'm not that creative, no. But no, I got them all off, most of them off of the Quilter's Catch. Yeah.
Very cute.
So that'll be fun to put onto a quilt when we're done. Okay, several of these have a story. I guess I'll start with this one since it's on the top. My aunt in Rhode Island is very ill, so I decided to make her a quilt. And she used to live here in Portland many, many years ago, so I had this fabric that had these roses on it. And I decided to make something for her that had roses. And so this portion here that well, this is a square, and then you cut this away with the blue behind it, and I used those in the border. So I've really used up the fabric.
Cute.
Portland, City of Roses.
Yes.
That has a little bit of a 30s look because of the yellow and the pink. Yeah. Very nice.
Kind of springy looking for this time of year, but it's fabric that I had, so. Okay, this one here is kind of interesting because I do quilt with a group at Prince of Life Church. And somebody comes in and drops off fabric.
Okay.
And I get to be the lucky one that everyone looks at me and says, hey, can you put something together with this? Well, this particular person had sewn together quite a few of these squares. And so I just added some from fabric. This here is my fabric. And they had also had some pre-cut strips, 2-inch strips, so I used those in the border. The whole idea was to make this the size that the burn center at Emmanuel Hospital wanted. So I just had to get creative. But they had some really interesting fabric, whoever that was. These are all have got to be from the same fabric piece, but they all look so different. So it was kind of a fun little challenge.
And it doesn't look so bad when you look at the whole thing. Normally you'd think that kind of mustard color, but
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
together with everything.
Yeah, it's a color I would have never selected, but it was okay to work with it. And this is a quilt of valor that Faith wanted me to do. And I was going to give it to her today, but since she's not here, too bad. There's two stars. Can you folks see that? Oh, threads on it.
We often have threads on things. Okay, so where are the stars?
Right here.
Oh,
Right
and right
here.
there. Oh, okay.
Nice. Yeah,
Isn't that fun?
you can see it back here. There you go. Very nice.
That is. And we're continuing the Quilts of Valor throughout the year. So, thank you. And I have some things for Angela. Miss Amanda, would you like to come and help me? Can help me hold this up. Is there a top and bottom to this?
No,
No? Okay.
it's a 3x4, so I just put a border on it. It's not that
Okay.
big.
Here, let's do it this way.
There you go.
So this was Angela's challenge from last year. And each block is the same pattern. It's her own design, but they look so different.
When you get that secondary pattern.
And there's secondary pattern. And here's the blues. That's very nice. That's fun. Thank you. We'll just fold this up. And just set it down there. And Angela had planned to put a keyboard border on the other one, and then she decided she didn't want to do that because it wasn't coming out right. So she made this amazing quilt.
Oh, sweet.
We find the top and the bottom.
That's the long way.
Okay, there, it's this way.
I love it. Great. It's big. I love it.
That's big. So isn't that amazing?
And I forgot the snowflakes and the white one in that.
It just, turned out it's so much fun and so striking. So I'm glad that you changed your mind and actually made a quilt out of it. That's just really fun.
Very cool.
That is cool. And we don't have a duck person here to be challenging us today. So this is another one of Angela's projects, but it is really warmer. You can use it for casserole, or you can put your pizza on it. And it's I cannot say the word.
Twister.
Twisters.
Little twister.
It's the twisters, and it has insult bright and batting, and insult bright and batting.
One layer of batting.
One layer of batting.
That was gonna be a wall hanging, but I
Was gonna
needed
be.
a cozy for my casserole for Thanksgiving.
Casserole.
So I had to whip it together quick. And that's what I came up
And
with.
then she put I should have brought a dish. She put her casserole in and used hair.
The
Do you have,
hairbands.
do you have a hairband
The
in your
big
hair?
ones.
Yeah, Amanda has one in her hair. And put them around to hold it.
From the dollar store, yeah.
What a good idea.
I should have brought it.
We have the best creative quilters in the whole entire world. So thank you. Now I brought my first quilt, if I can do this without crying. My first quilt, my younger brother and I made. They lost their first daughter, and so while the mom was in the hospital, why my brother David came over and we cut out all these squares. This is big. Laid them all out on the floor. Let's see which is the top. This is the right way. And we always remind people that everybody started someplace. So this was like our morning quilt. Oops. Must have a pin in it. It's caught on something. Oh, here, I know. You want to help us? Okay. It was in a quilt show. So thank you, Renee. It was the first one I ever made, and it has all different kinds of fabric, which now if I do cotton, I do cotton. If I do polyester, which I don't very often, but anyway. And then we decided to give it, I gave it to my father on his birthday. And so it's October 7th, 1973. So we cut out all the pieces in July, and then it took me a while, and I just tied it because I didn't know you're supposed to quilt, quilts with a sewing machine. So, so this was my very first one. So anybody can make a quilt. Miss Amanda's quilt was, her first one was, we'll need to show that one of these days. It was amazing, but. We'll just put it down there. Well, Miss Amanda inspired me. She made a bracelet. Is this the right way? Yeah. So she took a piece of fabric. I think it was 5 by 8 inches, and then she ironed it, and then she sewed it all together, and then she put she stitched ribbons with fancy stitches on it, and then just put Velcro. So I thought, okay, we can turn that into a quilt. So I'll have her hold the stuff. So this is number 1 in our process. How many of you have leftover pieces of batting that can be, all kinds of stuff? Okay, so you can just set that down. Well, so you take your batting, and then you take your fabric, and you fold your fabric right sides together. So you cut it out with it right sides together, or it can come out weird and not be right. So it's just fold the right sides together, and then you cut it out for whatever kind of batting piece you have. Now, when you sew it together, it's very important. There's one important thing, because you have to be able to turn it right side out. Important. Don't sew all the way around, because then you're stuck, right? So you must leave an opening at the top, so you can do something with it. Now, so what we did was we have this little, and you see there are even holes, because if it's not, straight, they don't necessarily come together. So each one of these is done separately, just like the ones that we showed you. So you do it however it is, and then you kind of sew them together, and they may not all go together, but who cares? and we used fancy stitches. And then this is just kind of hanging out here. This is just an extra piece. And then we have ribbon. So, okay. So it's wire ribbon, right? You know how I have a kitchen drawer, which comes in very handy. And your daddy always made sure that I had tools. He's here today too. Thank you, son, Mark. So you just take your ribbon, your wire and your ribbon, and you just pull it out. And then I wind it up to make sure that, you know, I don't do anything. And you do it on both sides. Yeah, and some of it will just pull out, but here, I'll hold this. So then, without the wire in there, you can zigzag over it, over the edges. So we just put ribbon on this, and it just hangs down at the end, just because you don't want, you know, it's not straight across, so you don't, this is out of the box. You know, I'm a perfectionist. I was a classically trained pipe organist, classical music. So I started playing ragtime in order to, you know, kind of get out of that. Now, the ribbon at the top was a little different. So I pulled out one side, and then the other I just kind of gathered up with the wire. And then I had to be careful when I sewed it on, so I did a wide zigzag stitch so that I wouldn't, my needle wouldn't be hitting, you know, the wire. So we just went over all of that. And then I added buttons. Just, you know, just sew them on. And the holes in buttons, no matter how big the buttons, unless they're great big ones, are the same distance. So you're supposed to be able to sew buttons on with your sewing machine. I've not successfully done that, but so I did it by hand. So they're just all different buttons on there. And then I just took ribbon and made bows. This is another wire ribbon with a smaller ribbon. And so this one I just attached by the inside one. And so this is just loose. So you can do all kinds of things. So this may go in Miss Amanda's bedroom on one of her walls if she decides, because she does like this. So what else? Oh, we have something else to show you. Well, I have two things. Miss Amanda did a class, and so this was my block from her Contained Crazy patch. So this was the one that I did. I haven't made it into anything. I make one block and then I usually run out of time. So that was from a class. Now we have something else to show you today. Need a water bottle. Anyway, a water bottle fits in here, and then she can wear it. So to do the water bottle, it's an insulated, so you need 9-inch wide fabric, and it's the whole width, so it's 9 inches. And then you're going to sew it together. I have it written down because I did it once and it didn't come out. Because you need the Insulbright to be not just on Yeah, you just need it on one side. Because when you sew it together, do I have one of them done? You're going to be sewing it then right side. Once you sew it together and you turn it right side, why then you've got the insole bright because it's short. And then for the handle, we took 5 inches and folded it how many times? In half, and then in half, and then in half again, and stitched it. So, and it was 45 inches. So then, or is this one bigger? Sometimes I do them 1 1/2, so it's 45 and half of 45. 44 and 22 to make it. And then you can keep your water bottle, it can either be cold or it'll be hot. And with the insole bright in it, it's not going to get, you know, the condensation all over it. So, and we used more of the Kona Bay fabric, which we are wearing. And then it's just got fancy stitches on it. So, to go on it. Those are our projects for today, and I thank you, Miss Amanda, for joining me. Didn't she do a good job? As always. As always. And if you go to the website, www.oregonquilting.net, we will have the schedule for our taping and also information about our quilt show, which the public is invited to, and you are all welcome to bring quilts that day, and we'll show them, and will be no charge. We accept donations, but no charge. And we hope that you join us next time. We need everybody to come up. We want to wish everybody Happy New Year.
Seam in the back.
Seam in the back. Okay. Happy New Year.